Hey guys, Big J here, and it is Thursday, which means it's going to be Throwback Thursday. Sometimes just start on Thursday, just depending if I cook, clean, what have you, or lift weights, what have you. So we're going to do Throwback Thursday, because I'm going to walking around today, and I couldn't record none of it because. Alright, so. Sitting here thinking and contemplating on what should be my first Throwback Thursday story, and consulted with Mrs. and it's actually kind of like a thing here. So I'd say well, it kind of sets up Myth Monday, as Mrs. was saying. Okay, so September 11th just went by last week, and unless you're kind of new, I mean, even if you're still new to the earth within the last, say, 5 or 6 years, maybe 7, 8 years, you would know what 9/11 is. No, 9/11, just talk about it, was the terrorist attacks when the Twin Towers, the Pentagon, and a plane went down in Pennsylvania. Now, New York got the brunt of it with the World Trade Center Twin Towers. That got completely just obliterated. Now, it's not the only building that fell. No, those weren't the only buildings that fell. I think the 5 fell, a couple surrounding the buildings fell, and everything like that. Now, these were 2 massive buildings, okay, and so when they collapsed, there was a lot of debris. Now, there was a time that I got mad, and I couldn't do anything really because physical, couldn't pass physical, I was underage, so we went, me and a friend of mine, will remain nameless, snuck up to New York. And everyone's like, well, how'd you sneak up without your parents know? We went on a camping trip. Went out there, and we're pretty big guys, so they didn't really check IDs or anything. We said we were there to help clean up the debris, and we were there for about 3 or 4 days. And just the scene alone, it was like we were getting close to where it was at, and you could smell it. You can actually smell it. Wasn't a pleasant smell at all. You'd smell like, if you ever smelt steel burning, or like a really old house burning, that's what it smelled like. And we went there, we helped clean up. And just the things that I seen was it was terrible. Crushed cars, there was pieces of splattered bodies everywhere. I'm guessing it was either from the collapse or jumpers or both. I mean, some of these people that were jumping from this building, when they would hit, it'd be like just and we didn't go up onto the main portion there. It's because of I think it was because of safety reasons or something. So they had fire and construction workers and stuff up there. We were mainly there to help take buckets and take them to trucks and stuff like that. And we got some free room board, so that was pretty cool. This guy who had a big studio apartment with couches, full stock refrigerator, stuff like that, just let us crash there for a couple of days. And we went back home after a couple of days, and I had nightmares of the shit that was there. The smell of the burning papers, steel, seeing body parts, and the thing is, like when they showed on the news, whenever they pulled a body out, be it a firefighter, emergency worker, or just a regular civilian, everything stopped and they burned the bodies out. And it was just an amazing it was an amazing sight to see. Not in the aspect of a good amazing, it was amazing to see just how much destruction was there. And this, I've seen stuff from hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, stuff like that, and it was nothing like this. It was one of those things that when you see it, it's like it's fake. It's completely fake. And it was just, a mountain of debris. You think combined there were like 220 stories. Two of the tallest buildings in the world. They weren't the tallest buildings in the world. They got surpassed, but you gotta think, to these at one point in time were the tallest buildings in the world, and they're like 100-foot tall pile of rubble. And actually, you're in Huntington at one of our bigger cemeteries. There's actually a beam from one of the towers here. I still remember when they brung it in, they completely shut down the main routes here to that cemetery, and everybody got to see it. I saw it from where I was working at. I was in a kind of a tall building, and I just happened to look down, and I was looking at this truck carrying this rusted beam. I'm like, wow, but it, and then I saw the banner. There was a banner on it that said from one of the twin towers. I was like, wow. And I think one day we went for a ride, and we went to the cemetery and saw it, and it just brought back those memories of the smells, the sight. There was it brought a lot of people together, but there was so much anger in everybody because of what happened, and it's understandable. I think 3,000 people was killed that day on American soil, and used our airplanes, hit our buildings, and it was just, to this day, every year I sit down, be it before work or after work, I sit down, like a couple of days I start watching stuff about it. Then I start watching more, and I watch everything I can. One of my favorite things to actually watch is the raw amateur footage of 9/11, like that's not news coverage. It's like people actually recording it. And what's crazy is all these cameras that were stationary, meaning they weren't moved, they were fixed. Well, on the North Tower all the time, and there was no footage of a plane hitting it, but that one from where, they found two. There was another one, I do believe, there was one, the one that everybody's seen a million times, when they're checking the CO2 or something like that, or carbon monoxide, I think it's something, they're checking something at one of the grates, and then you hear the plane, and you see the firefighter hold his helmet, look up, and then he kind of looks down, and you hear when it hits the tower. There was one more video that I've seen. It was like by it was like on a interstate or something, and nothing was there. Next thing you saw a big fireball. So there was another view of it, but what amazes me is that there's no views of it, and there was like really no view of the Pentagon being hit, considering all the cameras that were stationary with it. So, and then you have the Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where the plane was brought down by the passengers that overtook the hijackers. So, and then another thing that really, it tears at your heartstrings, just actually listening to like the phone calls. Like there was one with a guy who was like right above the hit zone of the second tower, the south tower that got hit. The one I got hit like right in the middle. And he's sitting there talking, and then right when it started collapsing, you hear him scream, and that just sends chills down my spine every time I hear that. Every time I watch that video. And then, then watching the raw footage of like the collapses of the second collapse, the one with the tower on top of it, or the antenna, hearing these people scream when it starts falling, or like listening to, or like watching the people jump, and you hear them hitting the ground. There was one documentary that I know, it's called The 102 Minutes That Changed America, and there's one where this young firefighter is looking up and watching this person fall, and you hear the woman screaming, and then you just hear boom, like a bomb went off on the ground, and it was a one person jumping. Now, 9/11 affected me. I lost 2 people in the attacks in my family. One was in one of the buildings, and then when it started collapsing, and then I lost a couple of family members with the war that ensued from it. And just going there and just seeing everything was just absolutely insane. The smells, the sight, the smell stayed in my nose for like days after. I mean, it was just one of those god awful things. And when we got back and everything, I didn't sleep for almost a week, just because every time I close my eyes, I just see that in my head, and it's just insane. So that's my Throwback Thursday story to when I snuck off to go help, try to clean up some of the colony. It was pretty strenuous, but I wouldn't change it for anything. I'd do it again if I had to. Probably never have to. But I wouldn't change that for anything in the world. Now my next step is to go to New York one day and actually see the memorial grounds and everything, and the new Freedom Tower that's built. So, love you guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, bell for notification. Don't forget to share these videos with your family and friends. To all my subscribers, thank you so much for all your support and patience with these videos and the transition from 3rd Gen to Big J. Greatly appreciate it. And sorry, I got distracted by the commercial on TV. So love you guys. Thank you. Don't forget to eat healthy, stay healthy, love one another, and as always, with Big J.